Okay, so we're going to be setting up the footable wall here. The first thing you're going to need is a 7/16 socket wrench. I just got one. There should be one in the closet there in the makerspace. And as you see me starting to open up the walls here, really having two people is the best thing. The walls are easy to move as one person, but here in a little bit you're going to see as we connect the walls, it takes two people to kind of hold it down and have the next person go get it. But you want to line the wall up with the little section there, and that's going to get pushed in here in just a little bit. But yeah, two people is really the best way to go. The walls, like I said, they're easy to open up and slide around on the track. And here you'll see me kind of taking each section, opening them up, and then kind of sliding them down to form the wall. And then having that second person as you start pushing them around will make it a lot easier. Um, Really, when you take it apart, it's kind of the opposite of all this, right? So in a second, I'll show you how to loosen everything up and move the walls, and they all go back in that little section there by the east wall. They just sit back there, so it's really nice. Um, as you'll notice, the walls are kind of swinging back and forth. That's because the base of the floor isn't sticking out yet. And you'll see as we push these walls together, the base is going to come popping down, and that's what creates that seal. So here I am, I'm pushing the wall into that little section. You'll notice there by my foot, that little gray section came out, and look at the bottom. See how it's now down to the floor? That's a key part to all this, is that's what's holding it in there in place. So um, I'll do it again here in just a second. You'll see me pop it in there. I'll go into the section. Sometimes having that second person to kind of make sure it goes in there. And then as you push that in, it slams down and then the floor goes down to it. So you should see that little section sticking out. That's what it's supposed to look like. Then you bring the next section up to it. And this is where having another person holding it helps, because they can hold it in place while you get the next wall. And then you push in. You'll notice Miss Pittner here holding the section back for me. I'm going to line it up again. We're going to push it in. She moves her finger out of the way not to get it smushed. And you just keep moving down the wall. So you continually kind of keep doing that. I'll line it up. She'll hold the wall there. I push it in. It takes a little bit of force to push the wall into that section, but I mean, one good shove should be just fine. All right, there's that next section. You just kind of move your way down the section. I hold it, and then she takes it and holds it back for me. Line up kind of this last big section here. As it gets ready to go in there, just kind of a reminder to have that socket wrench with you ready to go, because once you get that section in, then this last little panel, it looks different. It's got two little kind of holes on it with some wrench areas to use a socket wrench. One of them is to push the floor down, and one of them is to push against the wall. And so you'll notice I'll get it lined up. And I'm going to first do the one over by the wall. And what that does is you'll see a little section over there. As I start to ratchet, it expands out. And it'll expand out until it creates a seal and pushes up against where Mrs. Pittner's holding there. And you just kind of ratchet until you kind of feel it start to, you'll hear it clicking, and it's pushing up against, and it's got that pressure. And then what you'll do is once you get that out, then the other person can let go. Then all you got to do is expand the floor. And you'll notice the floor down by my foot there. You'll start seeing it come down as we're pointing at it. And then once that's all the way down, that creates a seal then for the floor. And it's really pretty soundproof. Here's kind of a close-up of those two little holes. You'll see on there it says expand, retract. So if you're taking it apart, you're going to retract everything, right? And then if you're putting it together, you're going to expand it. And like I said, as long as you have that 7/16 socket wrench, you should be good to go. And then do the floor. And then just do the opposite. Do the floor first and then the wall to let it go. Take the panels apart, and they all go back in that little section on the east side of the wall.